if you form a habit around learning a language, it
Mhm.
becomes so much easier, so much that you'd actually do it without thinking about it. You'll do it on autopilot, as we say. Many people say that I want to speak like X. Okay, for example, Shashi
But
Tharoor, I want to speak like that. What do you do for it? The simplest thing that you can do to start speaking like Shashi Tharoor is listening to the guy. Listen to the guy. If you start listening to someone
mhm.
consistently and you listen to them, I don't think I'll be able to give a period on this. Like, listen to them as much as
Hi,
possible.
Richa. Good morning. How are you doing?
I am great. How about you?
I'm well. Thank you so much. So, to begin with, welcome to Fluenzio. And I'm really, really excited to have this conversation with you.
Same, same. Been looking forward to this conversation for a long time, Vineeta. The
Yes,
first
yes.
conversation that we had was a month back. Am I right?
I guess so. It's been a month.
For sure.
Yes. Yeah, the day has come now.
Finally, we're having it.
So, before going ahead in this video, I would like to share why I was really excited to have this conversation so that people who will watch this video will get to know. So, one day, one of your videos pop up in my feed and I watched it. I really liked it. And I watched some of your other videos and I found the kind of content you share, most of the time you relate that to your journey and to your learner's journey. So that was a fascinating part. Then I thought, why shouldn't I have one conversation with her so that we can reach out to many people and we can add value to more number
Hmm.
of people. Right. So that was the main reason. And I'm really, really excited to unfold a lot of questions for you.
Okay, so are you going to ask me some tough questions or what?
No, no, not tough questions. I'm sure you might have shared a lot of answers in your videos, but now I will just structure those questions. I will ask you some questions from learner's perspective and someone who is struggling a lot to speak English. So before getting ahead in this video, I would like you to introduce yourself so that people can get to know who are watching you for the first time.
For sure, Vineeta. So we're starting strong. She said some really good things about me. I just want to start by saying game recognized game. We have a lot of mutual respect, and I love the way you're so sweet to your guests. I've also watched some videos on your channel. We're talking about my introduction. I have a YouTube presence. You might know about it, Richie English it is. And I've been
Yes, yes,
teaching
yes.
English for more than 3 years, Vineeta. And it's been an exciting journey so far. I'm a
Mm-hmm,
recent graduate. I'm a graduate now, so that's one thing about me. But when I started learning teaching English, it was on several online schools. I kept
mm-hmm,
switching, but I guess I finally like found my zone, and I'm really happy in the career space that I'm in. So I've taught people from more than 15 countries, almost helped
wow.
them achieve their goal of fluency. Yeah, it makes me
Mm-hmm.
feel amazing, and the numbers are moving. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's
The
amazing.
numbers.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes, both kids and adults. And if you want to know a bit about my hobby, I don't think I've ever talked about it on air. I really like playing
Now you can
chess.
share. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it's the time, yeah? Right
Mhm,
time. I love playing chess, but I don't play it very often because I tend to get addictive. You know what I mean? And so that's not an active area in my life. But if I had
mhm.
more time and more freedom, I'd love to play more chess. I sometimes play chess in my free time, but then again, since I started my YouTube and I'm trying to stay consistent, my free time is mostly occupied by content creation or giving
Mhm.
lessons.
Okay, that's interesting. So I think I should learn chess now. You have inspired me to
It's
learn
actually
chess.
really good, but you can become an addict. That's the risk. You have
I
to
don't think
play
so.
very
I don't
carefully.
think so because I have tried multiple times. So I tend to give up on this chess learning hobby.
Okay. You should definitely give it a fair shot.
Okay, I would definitely. All right. So you said you have been training people for more than 3 years and more than 15 countries, right? Wow. So now I don't want to talk about in the starting about your training journey. First, I want to ask you some questions from your learning English journey. See,
Mm.
you might have shared your journey to your learners or on your YouTube channel, right? But I want to tweak this question a little bit different, right? Suppose today I'm starting from zero as a learner, right? And I want to speak like you. So what would you suggest? Like, what are the smartest ways I should
Mm.
follow so that I can learn in a faster, easier, or smartest way possible. So I want you to give me the cheat sheet, people who are watching, so that they can use that cheat sheet in their learning English journey.
I might need a moment to reflect, but we can start with our journey. I understand, Vineeta, you want me to answer this question like separate from my journey, but then I've been learning English for more than 10 years and also speaking the language. But if I
Mhm,
don't include a bit of my journey into this answer, it would seem incomplete to me and I wouldn't be doing justice to our listeners. So when I started learning English, it was
mhm.
through textbooks and school and teachers and the rest of it. I don't think YouTube was as popular as it is back
Okay.
then. But I had this opportunity to speak with some Americans. My cousins put me in contact with them. That's one
Mhm,
thing. So I come from that world. I'm a product of both the worlds, Vineeta. In a sense, I was a
mhm.
child who started speaking English only by listening and speaking to Americans. But then also that's friendship did not last long. So after that, I was left to myself, and I had to do all the rote part myself. To have done both, and that is what uniquely qualifies me to be an English teacher.
Mhm.
If somebody is a beginner and they're looking to start their journey, the best thing to do is to stay consistent. No
Okay.
BS. People think that there are too many challenges in the way of
Mhm.
language learning. I think that is a lie, or that is a not very well thought out thought. It is
Okay.
not a big challenge to learn a language. The only real challenge that exists is consistency. If you pick one thing that you're going to do for the course of the next 60 days, let's say listening, you stay
Mhm.
consistent with it, no matter what happens, you will see the goddamn progress that you've been running after. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So as a beginner, you don't have to do a lot of things. I'm going to do listening, I'm going to do reading, I'm going to attempt speaking conversations. Many people are of the opinion that you should start speaking from day one. Okay, if you have a friendly environment to do that. But if you
All
feel like the
right.
people around you are not the best kind of people. They might judge you, they might be overly
Mhm.
critical of you. Stop. Don't do it. Get to a level. And by that, I do not mean don't speak to yourself. You can always speak to yourself. There's several ways you can practice your English, and you can have
Mhm.
ChatGPT as your speaking buddy in today's time. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So that's there. To answer your question briefly, Vineeta, I want any beginners listening to this video to start listening to some English content. Don't do reading if you're not interested already. If
Mhm.
you've read a lot of books in your native tongue, for example, Hindi, then I think this switch up is going to be easy. But if you've never liked reading books, then you should
Mhm.
not take the pressure of reading. Like, take the pressure off of yourself. Just do one thing, stay
Mhm.
consistent with it for the next 66 days. That's the number of days it takes to build a habit. And then you have to add something to it. Keep adding the layers. You know what I mean? That is how it works.
All right. So you shared stay consistent, and but doing what? Because deciding what activities we should do, it's a difficult task. Because if you are suggesting, and I'm suggesting, many people keep suggesting a lot of things, but like listening is important. But as a human being, we want to speak as much as we can. We want to speak faster. And about the speaking part, see, you also shared one thing. If you are struggling to speak, don't do that. But the problem is to reach at this level where we feel confident to speak in front of others, it comes much later. Because out of in our comfort zone, we keep delaying it. Right. So, what is the role? Like in the starting, listening is important, really important. I will agree on that. But along with that, what other activities they should do to feel that confidence? Like little bit talking to self talk or to others, what they should do.
Yeah, and I think like I might have a problem with this thing, not because it's coming from you, but in general, I hope you understand this. People think that
Yes, yes.
we have to do something in People think that we have to do something in specific to get that confidence, to kick up the confidence. Doesn't work like that, Vineeta. It
All
is a
right.
byproduct. Let it be a byproduct. So if you have a good routine, and it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't really matter if you only have one thing in your routine, because no matter how much value I obtain from those conversations with American friends, that's their like big chunk of the credit goes to them. But listening has sustained me, that's maintained my language. And that is why I happen to be a big fan of this activity. If you can turn, there's like several ways you can do it, and you can keep experimenting with it. And this is also something that I keep talking about on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
So if you listen to some content, now according to your level, you might listen to conversations on your channel, for example. You bring a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people on board and you have conversations with them. I've seen some people having conversations with kids as well. Not to mean that you are at a kid's level, but you both are at the beginner's level. So, you definitely share some similarities. So listening to those conversations that you can digest. You know what I
All
mean?
right,
So
correct.
listening to those conversations, and that too, getting some listening around bedtime. You don't have to do it 2 minutes before going to bed because that can disrupt your sleep, but you
Yes.
can do it like an hour in advance. That way, once what
Okay.
happens, I'll try to explain it in the simplest way possible. You wake up feeling like you have some English inside you, some residual. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel
Correct.
like you're completely empty inside. And so you can start your day on a stronger note. So I'm not going to complicate it. I'm only going to name one thing, which is listening to conversation. Diversify your listening experience. Stay consistent with it for the next 66 days, and it will show you the results.
Right. So you emphasized a lot on listening. So what are you listening these days? What kind of content do
Mm.
you listen regularly?
I listen to a lot of things. I think there's too many to name. But
Okay.
in specific, I keep naming this podcast, which is actually my favorite podcast, the Joe Rogan Experience. Again, it's the same thing there. Joe Rogan is a stellar speaker himself, speaks with
Mm-hmm.
a beautiful American accent, and he brings a lot of people on board. And he talks, like, for
Yes.
example, I think a couple of months back, he had Magnus Carlsen on the show. And like I said, I'm a fan
Mm-hmm.
of chess, so I really enjoy the conversation. So I listen to podcasts. I make it a point to listen to podcasts. But
Mm-hmm.
earlier on, like in my younger years, I didn't listen
Mm-hmm.
to podcasts as much. I only listened to political debates a lot.
Oh,
You know what I
wow.
mean? Because that
Mm-hmm.
happened to be something that I took interest in. I still take a lot of interest in that kind of content. But like I
Mm-hmm.
said, I've diversified it. I listen to debates, I listen to podcasts. One podcast in specific, which I can name, is definitely the Joe Rogan Show, because you'll
Mm-hmm.
find all sorts of people in there. It's like a one
Right,
stop
right.
shop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have
So
watched
that's
it.
there.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, you can continue. Yes.
Yeah. So the Joe Rogan shows there. Aside from that, I do watch some shows on a regular basis. And I think this is the question later in the conversation. What is my favorite show? Do you want me to answer it?
No, no, you can answer
Okay,
later.
so
We can talk about it later.
okay, let it keep it for another time. Yeah, sure. So the Joe Rogan show is what I can name because I listen to a lot of conversations. But anybody I'm going to add to it for a bit. So if anybody is looking to learn an accent in specific, for example, the
Hmm.
American accent or the British accent, my top advice for them is that you only listen to American or British content for some time. I'm
Hmm.
at a stage where I listen to different types of contents. Okay, that's
All
available
right.
for
Yes.
free and for by paid subscriptions. I listen to American English, British English, Australian English, and sometimes only Scottish English. But obviously, I listen to American English the most. That happens by default. It's not my choice. So
Hmm.
at this point, my accent sounds like a bit like a mixture. So an accent trainer can actually recognize that I'm speaking in a mixture. This is a composite, not exactly the American accent. So I'm doing this, but when I was trying to polish my American accent, all I
Hmm.
did was listen to American shows, listen to American contents. You know what I'm saying? But at that time, I did not know that I was doing something which was going to pay off. And the payoff was
Later.
great. I did something subconsciously and it turned out to be great.
Okay. Wow. Interesting. And I also do love to watch a lot of podcasts, and they really help. And plus, they are engaging.
For sure. And yours is a good one as well.
Okay. Thank you. Now, I think I should ask you, we should talk about something that common problems coming from learners. Right? Whenever I connect with people, most of them have some problems like, um, ma'am, I don't have English environment. This is the common problem. Or I'm not from an English medium school. Or maybe my grammar is not good, or I know grammar, but I'm not able to use it. Or maybe I need to have a great vocabulary or more number of words in my vocabulary. Then only I can speak fluently. So, to all the learners, what do you want to say? Because I feel these are some language related challenges, right? But before that, a lot of problem happens because when they keep reinforcing these kind of problems, they do struggle a lot. In fact, more than that, I feel it's a mindset problem in the starting. Language problems will always be there, right? You can work on them, but mindset problem, it's a real one. Because when you keep reinforcing, you keep telling yourself like, I'm not from an English medium school, or I don't have people around me, then it will just affect me more and more. So, to all these people, what do you want to share? How can they overcome these kind of problems?
For sure, I understand your question. Now, first things first, again, I do believe the only real challenge posing language learners is consistency. If you cannot keep the consistency, you won't see the results. I mean, let me tell you that much. But
Mm-hmm.
if you want to talk about the mindset, there's a great point you hit on there, and I'd like to expand on that. There's two ways you can do it. And I think, in my opinion, it's just there's only two ways. I'm not saying two of the many ways. And also, like, whatever, I should have said this in the beginning, whatever I'm going to say is my advice, my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. It's no secret. Okay, back to the point. There's only two ways you can do it. You can either work on your mindset, okay,
Okay.
and not be afraid of making mistakes. If you get to a level where making mistakes do not affect you anymore, it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
affect you no more, go on, speak to people, attempt as many conversations as possible. Okay. But if you're a bit vulnerable and you feel a bit down when you make mistakes, and this
Mm-hmm.
is natural, no matter how much we keep saying that you have to overcome this problem, but it is a problem at one point. We all feel a bit embarrassed or a bit down by making mistakes, especially when we get noticed by other people, when it becomes the highlight of the conversation. That's there. It's only a human feeling. But if you're able to overcome it by like this mindset engineering, and to be able to come to agreement in terms with the fact that you will make mistakes, but you have to
Mm-hmm.
learn to overcome them. Native speakers make mistakes all the time, and this is the conversation we don't have often. This is the conversation that many people skip. I've talked to many of them and they make a bunch of mistakes. Okay. But the thing is, they don't see English as a superpower like we do. Most of us, we see English
Yes.
as something part of the elite group club. Somebody who can speak good English, they're just like next level people. Next level is Indianism in English. You understand what I mean by that?
Yes. Yes.
It
Yes.
is not like that. Native speakers also make mistakes. Advanced speakers also struggle to put across their thoughts. It happens to everybody. And you're right, language problems will always be there. You can either work on the mindset front, or the second option is learn with a roadmap. If you can
All
have a
right.
routine, again, it's a
Mm-hmm.
consistency with a roadmap. Yeah. Like everything brings me back to the one main point, like a tornado. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Learn
Correct.
with
Mm-hmm.
a study plan, a routine. If you follow a routine that I'm going to block time blocking is very important if you're going to follow a roadmap or stuff like that. Yeah, I'm going to study English for 2 hours every day in these hours of the day, and you stay consistent with it. And then after some time, after completing a window of 2 or 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
you add something new to it. There is no shot that you improve. But if that's something that you're like not good at, most people are not good at keeping consistency. You know, like discipline is
Yes.
difficult, it's very hard. Then you can, I think you can make a combination of the two, work on your mindset, just come to terms with the fact that you will make mistakes no matter how you try, no matter how hard you try. You cannot eradicate your mistakes, uproot your mistakes completely.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But what you can do instead is know what you know best. And this is something that I really enjoy in my private lessons. When I talk to someone about something that they take interest in, they're so happy. And even when they make mistakes, they know they have so much to put across that they forget it or they ignore it. But when you're talking about something difficult, something where you have less than ideal knowledge, there it can be a bit hard to overcome these challenges. You know what I mean? So knowledge is a big part. But again, back to the point,
Mm-hmm.
there's two ways: work on your mindset and follow a routine, or you can make a combination, and I think that'll be better.
Wow. You have shared some practical tips. I think not something generic, but practical. So you are focusing more on consistency and making a plan, right? But this is the
Yes.
challenging part for people. This is the most challenging part. Like in a brief, if
Hmm.
you can give me a 30 days plan, like in a brief,
Hmm.
what should someone
Okay.
follow?
Hmm. I think my answer is going to sound pretty much the same as the last one, because I'm going to keep repeating myself on things, and I'm not going to overburden you with more tips. And there's a bunch of suggestions that you'll find online, but you have to filter it
No,
out.
no.
And I'm going
Correct,
to tell
correct.
you something that's worked for me personally. Yeah.
Mhm.
Not gonna go off track like that. But Vineeta, I do understand why you asking me this question, because I get the same kind of questions from my students all the time. Yes, a 30-day plan. Again, I think you have to do something for at least 60 days to build a habit. Habit is something that we need to learn about more. If you form a habit around learning a language, it
Mhm.
becomes so much easier, so much that you'd actually do it without thinking about it. You'll do it on autopilot. we say. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
if you can build a habit, and I think this is exactly what I did in my life. I spoke to Americans almost every day for several hours. Like I said, the friendship was short-lived, but it taught me so many things. It gave me a bunch of good habits, or I should say, it gave me one good habit, and I build more good habits around it. So it takes one good habit to start other good habits. You know what I mean? So 30 days, I think if you stay consistent with your English for 30 days, you'll definitely see some good results. But if you wanna see some permanent changes, I'd say 60 days is a better option. You know what I mean? To go for a plan for 60 days, listen to English every day, and get some listening before sleep. You can listen to whatever you like to listen to, but then after that, you have to walk out of your comfort zone as well. For example, if you're a homemaker and you only listen to conversations, for example, Desperate Wives, that is a show about home households and homemakers. So you shouldn't limit yourself to that, is what I mean to say. You should listen to different things. Listening's gonna go on top. And then if you can find a speaking partner, what's better than that? If you can hire a personal tutor, nothing's better than that, because they will tell you exactly what you need to work on. We are told, oh, work on your grammar. What in grammar do I need to work on? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So if somebody can point you in the right direction to have a role
Mm-hmm.
model, yeah, that's the point I'm going to cover in a bit. Point you in the right direction, and you know exactly what you have to do. That's the best plan you can have for 30 days or for 60 days or for the rest of your lifetime. And talking about the point where you have to have a role model, many people say that I want to speak like X. Okay, for example, Shashi
But
Tharoor, I want to speak like that. What do you do for it? The simplest thing that you can do to start speaking like Shashi Tharoor is listening to the guy. Listen to the guy. If you start listening to someone
mm-hmm.
consistently and you listen to them, I don't think I'll be able to give a period on this. Like, listen to them as much as possible. There is
Mm-hmm.
this natural thing that develops inside you that makes you sound like them. You understand the kind of words that they choose, the kind of accent that they speak in, the speed, and all of that. You don't have to take notes or anything. It's all mental
Mm-hmm.
notes. It's all subconscious.
Right.
So to
Mm-hmm.
have a North Star or to have a role model, if you like someone's YouTube, listen to their YouTube as much as possible. It will definitely help you, and it wouldn't even feel like work.
Okay, I think I will agree on all these points. The reason, yeah, making plan is important, being staying consistent and expanding the horizon according to the level wherever we are today. So that is why we can keep ourselves motivated. Okay. So now I want to ask you something related to vocabulary. In your conversations, you are able to use good words, good phrases so effortlessly. How is this possible? See, whenever I learn some new word, I do some research, I learn some day-to-day sentences using that phrase or word. And if I watch a show or podcast, I keep writing them. I write a lot. So it helps me a lot. So what is your strategy? Writing or using them? How can someone inculcate good words in their speech?
Okay, one tip that you can replicate right now is take notes on your WhatsApp. And you can text yourself. There's this self-texting feature that's been around for quite some time now. So this
Yes,
is what
yes.
I also do for myself personally. For example, you find a new word and you have to go to your WhatsApp, type it there, and also record your voice if you can do that. It is some work. You will have to do the work. I cannot offer an alternative for that. You know what I mean? So you can use WhatsApp as your notebook. This is what I've done for a long time. But you know what? The problem's actually deeper, Vineeta. It's not about not being able to remember the words. It's about attention. It is not always
All
about
right.
retention, it is about attention. I've seen that I'm actually learning Spanish at the moment, but I'm not very consistent with my lessons, so don't ask me my level. Whenever I'm doing my Spanish lesson, my tutor is actually my friend and also my student. You know, say that this is a very a farrago of student and teachership. So whenever she teaches me Spanish and I space out for a second, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
able to remember those words. When somebody is speaking and you're not present in the moment, and then after
Mm-hmm.
that you make effort to just remember what they said or talk to other people. Oh, I missed it. It is actually not going to work. So you have to be available in the moment. Attention is everything. If you read a book, throw your phone away for the time
Mm-hmm.
being. Don't take social media breaks as many times as you might take at the point. You know what I mean? So if you check your phone every 5 minutes, every 7 minutes, and you say that I've read the book for 20 pages, Rich asked me to read 20 pages each day, and I've done that, but they're going to hide the fact that I've checked my phone like 17 times in 1 minute. There's no way I can help you out with that. You know what I mean? So you have to have a laser focus, know where the bull's eye is. Those are some strong
Of
words.
course.
You know what I mean? Now, it is mostly about attention. When you read the book, you come across a new word, read with all the attention that you have in your body. And obviously, writing is a good way of doing it. But I'm not in the support of repetition. Writing a word 10 times just to remember it, or writing a sentence 5 times so you can use it in your conversation. Doesn't work like that. This is what we faced in our school, and we all hated it. Nobody liked it. Nobody liked
Agree.
repeating words. So don't do that. It doesn't work either. Attention is the main point. If you're attentive while listening to a conversation, if you're attentive while reading the book on your hand, you will remember the words. And it's not a matter of a day, right? It's not going to happen in a day. You're going to
Mhm.
have to be patient. Stay patient
Of
with the
course.
process. And like I keep saying, 60 days, stay patient with 60 days, stay consistent, try to you know, summarize everything that you read at the end of your reading session. It's actually going to
Mhm.
help you a lot. And then you can use the words that you've learned. So you have to do some work. And if you're not ready to do the work, first be ready to do the work.
Okay, understood. So I think I also do something similar. I write words on WhatsApp. I keep creating a lot of WhatsApp groups just to
Is
remember.
it?
Yes, yes, yes. I keep writing a
Yeah.
lot of phrases, sentences, or whenever I watch any series. So in series, in English series, I feel they use a lot of phrases or idioms. So there I keep writing, and that helps me a lot. And I'm sure people who are watching this video, they will be able to use this trick, and that would help them too. All right. Now, this was about something like English related conversation. Now, I would ask you some interesting questions. Then you can
For
share
sure.
whatever you want to share. Right. First, I will start with what is your favorite English word or a phrase? One
Hmm.
word and one phrase.
When you have to come down to one, it's always a
It's difficult.
hard thing to answer. I'd say, yeah,
I'm saying it is difficult, but some words we use regularly. We like to
yeah,
use them. Yeah.
no, no, for sure. I'm just trying to buy some time to think the word. I think
Yes.
my word is kowtow. If you ever heard it, kowtow. I really like,
Okay.
again, I like the sound of the word and I also like the spelling. Kowtow basically means to kneel, to be
Mhm.
on all fours, and to put your forehead on the ground. So you're basically
All right.
bowing, something
Mhm.
that we do in the culture,
All right.
kowtow.
Understood.
But it can also mean excessive respect, respecting someone overly. So
Okay.
that I would say is my favorite word for the day, kowtow.
And how did you learn this word?
I think from a book. I don't
All
remember
right.
the name, but from a book for sure.
Okay. And these days, my favorite phrase is show up. Show up.
Okay. Show up. Okay, show
Yeah.
up.
Simple. I want
Yeah,
to
it's
show
actually
up for
very
myself. Now, tell me a word that defines your personality.
a word that defines my personality.
Yes.
Focused. Focused.
Focused. Okay. Nice. And I would say curious.
Okay, yeah, for sure. I
Okay.
agree.
Yes. And third question would be a book that you want to suggest to someone who wants to improve their English or learn
I have it
English.
right
Yeah.
here, actually. No, I have it right here. You want me to show them?
Yes, you can show, of course.
Ta-da. This is the book that I
So
recommend
good they
you
can't ignore
read
you. Wow.
so that
Yeah,
they
I
can't
can read
ignore
it.
you.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's actually a really good one. The English is amazing, the ideas are amazing. All in all, it is a perfect 10 for me.
Okay. And what is your all-time favorite book?
Mm. Harry Potter. Harry
Harry
Potter.
Potter. Okay. I have
Yes. And
never
also the
read it.
series. Never. Okay. I don't know. I hate to say this, but you're missing on life. You're missing on something amazing. You should give it a read.
I think I should try. Maybe I will pick it up later. Not sure, but yeah, I think I should pick it up. All right. I would suggest one book that has changed me a lot, like my perspective, Atomic Habits. I think it's a good read.
Atomic Habits. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have that one as well. Yeah, I've read it.
Okay. Yes. Atomic Habit is a book that after reading that I think I started thinking differently about a lot of
For sure.
things. Yeah. It is good if you
Hmm.
want to build a habit and you are struggling to build a habit. So it's a great book.
Yeah, it works on a mindset level,
Correct.
right?
Yeah. And next question, I have something for you. You have trained many students, so if you can share one moment or one learner's experience that you can't forget.
Hmm. Unforgettable.
Yes.
Okay. So I have this one learner who is actually in his early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
He is from Hong Kong, but he's been in Canada for more than 20 years. And
Early
when we
80s.
first met, in his early 80s, yes. Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
shocker. So when we first met Vineeta, the first conversation went well, but he said at the end that I'm talking to some other teachers, and he said you're a bit young to teach me. And he made it
Mm-hmm.
really clear that he might not continue doing lessons with me. And I thought that's obviously okay. But then I thought, is he finding me childish or something? I'm not childish. And back in the day, like we started 2 years back. So I was 20. Maybe I wasn't 20, I was 19, but let's say I was 20. And so I'm like, oh, okay, so he's
Mm-hmm.
totally judging me. This is child shaming. But I didn't say that. He came back a couple of days back and he said, I'm going to continue doing lessons with you. The two other teachers that he was talking to, they were obviously older than me, but he decided he wanted
Mm-hmm.
to continue with me. And we've become such good friends, unimaginable. He
Oh.
is such a cool man. I never thought people in their early 80s or in their late 70s, like the kind of people that we usually quote unquote call old people and the stigma
Mm-hmm.
attached with that age, they can be so cool. But he is the coolest student I've ever had. Hands down, the
Oh.
coolest student.
Okay, that's good to know. And sometimes, yes, you are right. We get attached to people. We really want to connect with them. We get connected instantly. It maybe
Mm,
that's what he might have felt with you.
vibe match for
Correct?
sure.
That's important. Vibe should match. Right. The last question I have, a city that you want to live in.
Oh, tough one. I don't want to live in any other city than my own.
Okay. Where
Never
are you
think
these
about
days?
it. I'm in Ranchi, and that's my hometown. Hmm. I'm gonna give you an answer. Give me a even like 30-second buffer time.
You can think.
I might wanna live in Switzerland, somewhere in Switzerland,
Okay. And why is
because
it
of
so?
all the good things that I've heard about the country. I've never had a student from that place, but I
Mm-hmm.
had an Italian student who wanted to work in the country. And he said Italians do want to get a job in Switzerland. And if they get it, they're very happy about it. And he told me a bunch of things. And I
Mm-hmm.
know that this country is very low on corruption, very low on pollution, and all the good stuff's happening there. So I do see myself living in Switzerland very happily.
All right. Interesting. Good to know. Now I have asked you a lot of questions. Do you have anything to ask to me?
Yeah, I might have a question. How do you pronounce your platform's name again? Because I didn't say it in the entire conversation. I didn't want to misstate it. You want to tell me the
Uh,
pronunciation?
Fluenzio. Fluenzio.
Gio, no Sio?
No, no, Sio. Geo. Fluenzio.
Fluengio. Okay, good.
Okay. So thank you, Richa, for connecting with me. It was a lovely conversation. I asked you a lot of things, and I am hoping people who are watching this video, they would they would take out a lot from this video. They would implement all these learnings or tips in their life, and I'm hoping we would have many more conversations in future.
100%. Thanks for having me on, Vineeta. I had a great time.